Russian President Vladimir Putin declared the port city of Mariupol liberated after nearly 2 months of siege, claiming it to be the biggest victory in the battle of the war. But defiant Putin has no intention of relenting. Standing in the way of complete Russian control over Mariupol is Azovstal steel plant. Earlier, Ukraine demanded the Russian military to open a humanitarian corridor from the plant to evacuate its people trapped in the fallen city. On Thursday, Putin also ordered his forces not to storm the plant but instead to block it. Meanwhile, Chechen commander Kadyrov claimed that the special operation to destroy Mariupol has been completed. Same day, US President Joe Biden announced additional military aid to Ukraine to the tune of $800 million. This new package will include much-needed heavy artillery and ammunition for the forces. Now, with this, the White House hopes that Ukraine is going to be able to escalate battle for the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine.
Предлагаемый штурм промышленной зоны считаю нецелесообразным. Приказываю отменить. Это тот случай, когда мы должны думать, то есть мы всегда должны думать, но в данном случае тем более, о сохранении жизни и здоровья наших солдат и офицеров. Не нужно лезть в эти катакомбы и ползать там под землей по этим промышленным объектам. Заблокируйте эту промышленную зону так, чтобы муха не пролетела.
Our unity at home, our unity with our allies and partners, and our unity with the Ukrainian people is sending an unmistakable message to Putin. He will never succeed in dominating and occupying all of Ukraine. That will not happen.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared that Ukraine's Mariupol has been successfully liberated. Putin asked his troops not to storm the Azovstal steel plant, the last remaining Ukrainian stronghold in the city, but to block it so that no one can escape. The port city is the gateway to the Sea of Azov and has both strategic and symbolic importance. It lies just 50 kilometers from the Russian border. Here is a detailed report.
Once a sprawling port city and gateway to Sea of Azov, strategic city of Mariupol has fallen to Russian troops. Putin's invasion army scoring a major win almost 2 months into the war. Ukraine losing its major stronghold after weeks of fierce war, human suffering and allegations of unimaginable war crimes. Russian President Vladimir Putin hailed what he called the successful liberation of the city.
The Minister of Defense of Russia, Sergei Shoigu, he noted that the city was besieged completely except for the Azovstal factory, which is in fact a city inside of a city because it's like 11 square kilometers. That's one of the largest factories of steel in Europe. So this is why we right now have the situation when the city is captured, but not at all actually, because this factory still remains under the Ukrainian control.
Amid all-round Russian surge in Mariupol, this Azovstal steel plant, once Europe's biggest metallurgical plants, has become the last stand for surviving Ukrainian troops, who so far fearlessly fought Russians. The plant is in ruins after multiple airstrikes and shellings by Kremlin forces. But its buildings, blast furnaces, rail yards and underground units are still serving as the hideout for Ukrainian troops, outgunned, outmanned and facing doomsday, with food, water, medicine and ammunition fast depleting due to the military siege by Russia. Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of Russia's Chechnya region, whose forces have been fighting in Mariupol, has claimed that Azovstal plant will be completely under control of Russian troops very soon. Putin, however, has decided not to storm the plant and has asked his men to lay an impregnable blockade of the entire complex to prevent anyone from escaping and to wait till Ukrainian forces run out of supplies.
the Azov, which is the national military brigade and the part of the Ukrainian defense forces, they still having this factory under their control, and they have this. They're benefiting from the critical location of the factory close to the sea, and they are having the catacombs, or they are having the underground corridors, which are helping them to stay there and to prepare for the Russian possible siege of the factory.
Putin held a meeting with his defense minister after the mega win and plotted his next strategy. Putin has called on the remaining Ukrainian fighters in Azovstal to lay down their arms, saying Russia would treat them with respect and provide medical assistance to those injured. Mariupol has symbolic importance for Russia because it was de facto headquarters of the far-right nationalist Azov battalion, which Moscow has promised to destroy.
Russian president's clear message is that there needs to be no evacuation of the steel plant. It should be shut down, and the forces should be given yet another opportunity to lay down their arms. With video journalist Satya Rautway in Moscow, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
And staying with Ukraine, Kharkiv's small residential district Saltvika has turned into a ghost town. More than 120 people have been killed and over 300 have been injured. There are no signs of life just anywhere. Mosmi Singh gets us this report from the ravaged district.
Kharkiv is under siege. Ukraine's second largest city has been bombarded by an all-out Russian assault. Missiles have been raining down on Kharkiv's residential complexes now for nearly 2 months, and the onslaught continues.
No matter where you stand in the city, in Kharkiv, you can hear constant bombardments, somewhere or the other. In this central marketplace, this, in fact, depression is actually a story of how, when the rockets rained in on the city, they targeted civilian and market areas. And if you look on the other side, this is a new market that was made. The windows have been ripped apart, glasses shattered, and the entire building, was damaged.
Kharkiv's small residential district, Saltikva, has turned into a ghost town. More than 120 people have been killed and over 300 have been injured. There are no signs of life anywhere.
It happened 2 days ago. 2 people were killed here. Just civilian people, peaceful people that just walking here, moving around, and it happened very fast.
The political center of Kharkiv too stands in ruins. The remnants of destroyed rockets and missiles lying strewn on roads has become a common sight.
In the city of Kharkiv, the most iconic and politically most powerful building is the city center. We're standing right outside the city center. On my left side, you see a rocket, and on my right, behind me, you see this city center that was targeted by the Russians, while the governor's seat, this is where his cabinet sits, and so symbolically the Russians had actually bombed this building. 2 bombs fell in front and almost 8 people died in the attack.
Amid the unending conflict, the relentless courage of civilians standing tall in the face of war speaks volumes. Volunteers are doing everything they can to distribute food and basic supplies, even as an acute shortage has crippled the city.
People say Kharkiv will live because Kharkiv is a very old city, and here you can see that there are multiple food items that are being given for people who cannot move out because in the residential and market areas continuous bombardments are happening. Even as we stand, you never know when rockets and missiles can come from the north direction in this part of the city, and that's why relief is being given very quickly. With video journalist Parminder, this is Mosmi Singh in Kharkiv for India Today.